Well, hello there, everybody. How's everybody doing today on this Monday? Let me add Mo just a sec. Hey Mo, what's up?
Hey.
How you doing?
Good. I had a doctor's appointment today, so I had the day off.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm glad you had the day off. I don't know about a doctor's appointment, but yeah.
It was just my checkup, so it wasn't bad.
Oh, that's not bad. Hold on a second. Okay. So let me say hi to some people. Let's see. Hello, Heather, whatever. Hey, Coolest Reviews. Hey, Allie, 79. Molson Man, what up, what up, what up? Cement Shoes, how you doing? Le Chat Noir, hello. Aussie Girl Chen, what's up? How y'all doing? Hey, Amelia. I don't want to miss anybody. I hope I don't. I'm trying not to. I don't think I did. I think I got
Did you
everybody.
get Maria?
No, hi Maria. I'm started at the top. She's at the yeah. Hey Maria, how you doing? Good to see everybody. All right. Well, I want to say first of all, thank you guys for your well wishes and support and prayers and on my post about my mom. It's hard for me. Some years are easier than others. Like last year wasn't as bad as this year, but for whatever reason, this year was kind of tough. I just miss her. You know how it is. So I want to thank you guys for being, hey, Shamina. I want to thank you guys for all being so patient with me and so supportive. After that, I had some real life stuff I'm still dealing with, but we're just going to keep pressing forward and whatever will be, will be. So I also wanted to let you guys know that I have confirmation of two things coming from the channel, upcoming on the channel. So on April 11th, the defamation lawsuit between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard is going to be streamed starting the 11th of April. Of course, I can't remember where it's at. I feel like it might actually be East Coast time, but I could be wrong. Because I kept thinking it's LA, but then I'm thinking no, because the incident took place in West Virginia. That's the source of the defamation lawsuit. So we'll see. Either way.
Oh, really? West Virginia?
Yeah. Either way,
Are you
we're
sure
going.
Virginia?
Huh?
Are you sure it wasn't Virginia?
I'm pretty sure they said West Virginia, but let me Google after I'm done with this. But I'm pretty either way, West Virginia or Virginia is still the East Coast, right?
Right.
Right, East Coast time. Okay. So I'm pretty sure they said West Virginia. I watched Vinnie Politan, so it is in Virginia. Okay, thank you so much, Shoes. Thank you, Mo. So Virginia, there you go. I never can keep those two places straight.
I was
don't
going to
go
say
there.
West Virginia is an odd place for that to have happened.
Well, I mean, anyway, so yeah. Hey, Rubberhead, how you doing? So yes, we're gonna cover that trial, okay, and also
My home state.
Well, I'll let you have that since it's Texas and it's 49 other bitches. Anywho, also, I did the Anthony Tote trial is going to be televised. Okay. And today there was a hearing, and I was under the impression, and maybe they did do it after this initial hearing, but they're not going to televise or play the jury selection, obviously. So, but this specific hearing wasn't a long one. It was only like 41 or so minutes. They were discussing whether or not to allow his Baker Acts and any mental health issues that he may or may not have in. And the state is maintaining that no, it shouldn't come in, basically because he isn't, they've already rejected him having an insanity or diminished capacity defense, right? So I can't lie. I don't actually know what the results of that hearing were because I fell asleep. I did it on purpose. It was on accident, but I did fall asleep. So I have to rewatch it. But that's what that was about. And the defense's maintains that they're not going for an insanity defense. What they're going for is his mental state at the time he confessed, because their argument is that those confessions should be thrown out. And I guess part of them is out, but part of them is going to be allowed in, and all of that business. So if you, I'll show it later if you guys, or maybe tomorrow or something, if you guys really want to see it. But yeah, see, Florida's pretty strict about that kind of stuff. Let's be honest here. Let's think about where we're at. Okay, we're in Florida. All right. Do you know what it would take to really actually do something that was by Florida standards legally insane? It's fucking Florida. We have signs that say not to harass, molest. What's the other one? The alligators, for Pete's sake. Okay. People need to be told this, to leave the alligators alone.
I think it's
feed them. Well,
yeah.
If you get too close, you will be feeding them, not on a purpose, on an accident. So, yeah, bottom line is he's not going to get, they want it in, and they're trying to backdoor it. They're not going to come with an absolute complete insanity defense. They want a backdoor and have the confessions. They're coming in, or part of them are anyway, but they want the jury to hear what his mental state was when he was giving those confessions, that he had diminished capacity and didn't know what he was saying or doing, and blah, 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 blah. So, yeah. So they are going to, and that one's going to be played too. So this is what I thought we would do. I'm going to do both. Obviously the Anthony Tote trial, I can't ever say his name right. Tote trial starts like 3 days after Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard case starts. So I'll just do 2 lives a night. I'll do Johnny and Amber at 7 Eastern, and then I'll do the Tote trial at 9, 2 hours for each of them. That should be good. If it spills over, it spills over. It's not a big deal, but I really want to discuss both of them, and I'm not going to pick one over the other. So I'm just going to have to work extra hard, but I'm willing to do it because I love you guys.
Thank you, Heather. Whatever.
So, I'm such a benevolent leader. I've been watching way too much Game of Thrones, for reals, and I missed some stuff that I paid attention extra to this time. But anyway, so that's what's coming up. So we got to get through Ezra and all her baloney, and let me get.
And you know what Florida allows?
What does Florida allow?
Florida allows the jury to ask questions.
Oh yeah. I wonder if they will.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
I don't. Are you sure that they allow it in any and every case? I feel like there's got to be a clause in there somewhere, because I don't think that they could just be piping up at any time and asking questions,
no.
or even wait. No. But I mean, even waiting until the end. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I feel like they would have to. There's got to be some kind of process for that.
Oh yeah. After each witness, the judge asks if they have any questions, and they write it down.
Yeah.
And then each side has to approve the questions.
Yeah. So, this is going to be a big fat waste of time, because no defense attorney is going to allow extra questions. And the prosecutor, when it's the defense's turn, isn't going to want to allow extra questions. I'll see how. I don't know. I've never seen it done before, so I'm curious. Oh wait, I scrolled way too far. So yeah, I forgot which one we're on. Are we on part 6? Yeah, we are. All right. So hold on a sec. Let me share my screen.
Oh, it happens a lot, Molson. I don't know how hard it is to get approved, because the last trial I watched in Arizona, where they were doing it, pretty much every question was approved, and they have to read it exactly like it was asked. And
Yeah.
some of them weren't asked very well.
Well, I feel like this is I'm curious more about this case than other cases, because this one is going to be a fairly complex case, I feel, evidence wise, as well as a lot of expert witness testimony. And they should be allowed to ask questions, but
They asked during the trial, Shmita.
I don't, I feel like it's a bad idea. They are allowed to ask questions. The jury is allowed to in all trials, but they're not allowed to ask questions of the witnesses. And they're allowed to ask like questions about jury instructions. They're allowed to view evidence. They're allowed to do a lot of different things that I feel like I don't like it, because it feels like it is intended to be fair for both the prosecution and the defense, right? So that the jury can, if they don't understand something or they want to know something else from a witness, then they should be allowed to ask. But it actually feels like then the prosecutor and the defense attorneys are not doing their job. There shouldn't be questions like that asked. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't agree with
well,
that.
after the questions, then each side can redo whatever
Yeah,
to make it clear.
right.
Yeah, it gets long.
So wait a minute. Let me ask you this. So the jury is allowed to ask a question, and it's read exactly as it is, and then what, the witness answers the question, or the
Yes.
defense? See, I don't like that.
I don't like it either.
I don't like that. The truth of the matter is, you should, it's your job as an attorney, whether you're working for the prosecutor or you're working for the defendant, it is your job to think of the things that the jury might ask. And if you would be watching our stream over here, you would know the questions and you wouldn't have to pass notes, because we ask those questions. So you could just hire us and save us a ton of time. Everybody a ton of time. Just saying. Just saying. So yeah.
Can you imagine the questions in Todd Mullis's trial? Probably would have been a different outcome.
Can you imagine if I were allowed to be on a jury I'm in Florida and I'm registered to vote, so I can be called for jury duty? Can you imagine?
Well, I think it doesn't have that. There's not really a lot of questions asked, because I think they get nervous that they're not gonna. You know how it is in that situation. You're like,
No.
I don't want to ask a question. Well, not you.
No,
but
I don't.
Normal people.
I'm normal.
Be like, I don't want to ask a question that sounds stupid.
There are no stupid questions.
But you think that in your head.
I don't.
I know you don't. I'm saying because normal people.
I am normal. I'm normal.
And so one of the last trial, some of the questions weren't even asked in full. It was like, what did you think about? And then they never finished the question. So the judge had to read it like that. And she's like, well, can't really answer this because we don't know where we're going.
So why would they read that one aloud?
I don't know. I think they
See?
can only cancel it if it's like really, something really serious. I don't think they can just willy-nilly cancel the questions. But that's Arizona. I can't remember the one I watched in Florida.
Oh, Florida's going to fuck it up. Come on, you guys. I mean, I just feel like this. There are really no, okay, the only time it's a bad idea to ask questions is if you're like in school and you ask for homework. Hey, nonstop mom, if the teacher didn't already say you have homework, don't put your hand in the air and ask. Don't be that kid. That's it. It's
See, I'm
really,
that kid.
and that's not a stupid question. It's just like, oh, come on. It's like, why would you remind her or him?
I do that at work all the time. I'm like, dang, I just screwed myself. Why did I ask that? I think a lot of jurors probably get nervous, is my point.
I mean, I guess.
But I mean, it's anonymous. They don't know who asked the question.
Of course they don't know, but it's handwritten. So it doesn't take a rocket surgery to put together you answer a questionnaire, that's in your handwriting, and you ask a question, that's in your handwriting. And look, I'm not even going to lie. If I were an attorney, whether it was the prosecution or the defense, I probably would go back and compare and snicker. I'm not going to lie. I'm petty like that.
Me too.
So, there you go. All right. We're on part, I already forgot, 6, yeah, of the cross-examination of
Ezra.
Ezra. It wasn't my fault. It was like that when I got here, McCandless.
You forgot Monica.
I'm not going to call her that. I'm going to call her by her chosen name. I don't care about Monica. I don't even like that. I like Ezra better than Monica.
Monica.
All right, y'all ready? Here we go. Oh, let me speed this up. I already know.
Ready?
Good morning. Yes.
Oh, we're on
All right.
a new outfit. Hold on a minute.
I'm going to start. May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
It's a different pink blazer.
Okay. Thank you, Mo.
It took me a minute when I was recording it. I was like, that doesn't look the same, but it's still pink.
I'm having an issue with the shirt underneath.
That's the shirt I told you I have that I threw away.
Well, I mean, I just feel like it looks buttoned wrong.
It's not a button.
I know
it's a crisscross.
Yeah, I don't like it. Because of the stripes, it looks wrong. But her hair looks good. I mean,
well, it looks like she's had a hat on all day. Doesn't look good.
Mo, I was trying to give her one thing, all right? I already got onto her because whatever color that is.
Yes, Sally 79. That's exactly what it looks like.
It looks dirty. Her blazer looks dirty. Her tie shirt it's a mess and it hurts my eyes. So her hair looks
Jen would be like, Ezra, why'd you wear that shirt today?
I probably would be. But my problem is, I don't know. I mean, this is better than some of the other dudes we've seen.
Mm-hmm. I'll give you that.
She pinned. Yeah, I see. I appreciate the fact that she pinned the shirt, but look.
Yeah, she did because mine shows my cleavage.
Well, right, but then don't wear the shirt, especially if you're going to pin it and have it be off center like that. I'm telling you guys right now, my eye is drawn to the fact that the stripes don't line up in any way, shape, or form, and it's bothersome to me. No, I think the worst hair she's had so far, coolest reviews, is the Swiss Miss Cindy Lou Who from Whoville hairdo. That's the worst one.
Everybody just wait. It gets worse.
The hair I'm sure it does get worse.
Oh, yes.
Worse. There's nowhere else for her to go. All right, let's.
Oh, yeah, there he is.
No, I don't even think that's a pin. Well, hold on. Let me see. I guess it's hard to see because the arrow's right there. But whatever she did, I don't like it. And let's hear what she's ready to lie about today. All right, Ezra, you're on, girl.
Exhibit 701, 700 council.
Thank you.
I have handed you Exhibit 700 and 701. Those are the two exhibits that contain the text messages between yourself and Alex Woodworth. What I'd like you to do, Ms. McCandless, take a moment and can you show me any texts in there where Alex Woodworth says, love and do as you will, or anything to that effect?
I got to let Nestor out. I'll be right back.
No, not in these text messages.
Okay.
And those text messages cover a time period between October of 2017 and the last one being February 23rd of 2018, correct?
Correct.
We also had some questions. About your wallet and the center console. Do you recall those?
Yes.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Excuse me, Mr. DeFore, is there an exhibit number for this?
What's that? That one is 704 and the other one is 703.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Showing you the mark for identification is Exhibit 703. That is your wallet there on the seat.
That is correct.
All right. Your Honor, I'd move the admission of Exhibit 703. I'm going to ask to publish it in a moment.
All right, Exhibit 703 will be received.
And Exhibit 704, that is your center console in your car, correct?
Correct.
All right. Move the admission of Exhibit 704, and I'll ask to publish that one as well.
Any objection to 704? 704 will be received.
All right. And I'll also ask to publish 704.
All right, you may publish.
So we're clear, Ms. McCandless. I think we're better off with the lights on, actually. Thank you. This is your wallet right here, correct?
Correct.
All right. And then this is your center console, correct?
That is correct.
Thank you. We had some questions yesterday, and you had testified yesterday about the position you were in when Alex first got into the car. Do you recall that?
Yes.
All right. And you recall being interviewed on March 23rd, 2018, correct? Or 24th, I'm sorry.
I don't have an independent memory of everything I said during those interviews, but
Okay.
yes, I do know I've been interviewed.
May I approach your Honor?
You may.
Looking at Exhibit 290, page 52. Counsel.
Can you wait one minute, please?
Sure, that's fine. Starting in line 2443, or 2343. Ready?
Yes, oh, I'm sorry.
Good, thank you. So I'm showing you, we're starting at line 2343. Interviewer 2, which was Investigator Conkey, states, asks you, describe to me when you were in the back seat prior to him attacking you. So how were you positioned? And your answer is, I was facing down, moving things out of the car to look in my seats and stuff, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And you also, yesterday, your statement was that you took the blanket and the pillow out of the car while
Yes.
you were going through things.
Yes, that is correct.
May I approach again, Your Honor, counsel,
may.
page 53, starting at line 2392. To So then Detective Croc asked you, okay, so then you're in the back. Did you throw anything outside the car when you were digging around for stuff? Your answer is, no, I didn't throw anything out. I was just moving things around and stuff, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
I feel like court TV's being shady, showing the
want
back of her
to-
head.
Talk to you for a short time about the journals and some of the entries that Alex wrote. Okay?
All right.
Can I approach your honor?
You may.
697. Got a couple questions in general, and then I will tell you when it's okay. Okay.
Thank you.
I have handed to you what was previously marked and admitted as Exhibit 697. Do you have that?
Yes.
And that is a document that, or a binder that contains quite a few pages, correct?
That is correct.
And if I understand it correctly, these are the originals plus typed pages of journal entries, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And outside of one that we've talked about in a sidebar, you've read prior to the incidents on March 22nd, all of these entries, correct?
That is correct.
And these, in addition, these were items that were provided to your attorneys as part of discovery, correct?
That is correct.
And they provided them to you then, correct?
Yes.
And you've had them in your possession for quite some time, correct?
Yes.
I want to start with one that your attorney did not ask you about. So could you turn to the tab 13?
I'm there.
All right. And that is an entry titled Desire and Will, correct?
I think a lot, Max,
Tab
because look at
13
all of us
is a written
talking about it.
That looks like.
Oh,
12.
sorry, I was previous tab. Actually, tab 14 is a desire to will maybe I'm not understanding the way
Okay.
it's.
The tab is in front of the
Okay, yes.
entry, not behind
Yes.
it.
Okay,
All right. Okay, so are we there? Desire and Will?
yes, we are
All
there.
right. And starting on the first page, it would be it's a partial paragraph under where it says DOJ 2530. Do you see that? Paragraph starts as curious.
Yes,
All right. The last sentence in that paragraph reads as follows, does it not? Put in a clear way, need aims to possess, in desire aims to give, while erotic desire aims to share or partake, correct?
correct.
All right. Turn to the next page in that. It'd be the first full sentence on that starts with love. Do you see where I'm at? There's a partial sentence and then a sentence that begins love becomes. Do you see that?
One moment, please.
Right at the top of page 41.
Yes.
All right. That sentence reads, love becomes love of the infinite. That is the good, and the G in good is capitalized, correct?
Correct.
And then continues, the next sentence reads, love and do as you desire becomes a principle of excellent morality, correct?
Correct.
All right. Skipping down a little bit to the paragraph directly under DOJ 2531. The first full sentence of that paragraph starts with love and do as you desire. Do you see that?
DOJ 2531.
Yes.
The first sentence
First full sentence.
starts with desire.
Love and do as you desire. Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. The next sentence after that, love and do as you desire. Do you see that?
Yes.
All right. That sentence reads, love and do as you desire transforms into infinite obligation. It says if you actually love, you'll give and give. No matter what your love asks for, that is your desire, correct?
Correct.
And actually, could you turn to the actual written portion of that, which would be the last page of tab 13. That actually isn't quite accurately transcribed,
Hey,
isn't it?
Crackling
That
Rosie.
Hey, Crackling Rosie. Hey,
paragraph
Lily.
actually says, love and do as you desire transforms into infinite obligation. It says if you actually love, you will give and give and give. So there's 3 gives, is there not?
I believe the prosecutor is the sniffler. I think he's got a cold.
I checked my mic. I was like, oh no, is that me?
Yes.
So there, at least the transcription
Mo.
is not actually 100% accurate, is it?
No, they're missing 1 give.
And then finally, as it relates to that particular journal entry, let's move down towards the end of the next paragraph. It'd be 3 lines up from the bottom. Do you see a sentence that starts with here?
No, don't do that.
It's right at the end of that third from the bottom line of that paragraph.
First.
I'm sorry, excuse me, Mr. DeBoer.
It's the paragraph right after the one that we just talked about.
Are you saying all self-love? Are you speaking of the one that says all self-love is shaken?
No, we're at the, in the paragraph right below the one that I just quoted from, okay? And 3 lines up from the bottom of that paragraph, it says here. Do you see that right at the end of the line? If I can approach around, I can.
Yes, please.
You may approach.
You don't give the permissions,
We're
Ezra.
speaking of 2531. Oh, thank you.
God, can you imagine her putting together a dresser from IKEA? It would take her 11 billion
Oh,
Right.
years.
So that sentence reads, here the phrase becomes a
Ow,
challenge to
Alice.
give up both selfish need and selfless desire so that a future can become, correct?
Correct.
And the phrase that's being referred to is
Still
love and do as
laughing.
you will, correct?
Yes, it seems so.
Now, you also testified that Alex talked about cannibalism as having something to do with taking away someone's power. Do you recall that?
Yes, it was something we talked about during conversation.
There is never a reference to that in any of the journal entries that we have here, is there?
I don't exactly remember, but it is something we spoke about.
My question isn't if you spoke about it. My question is, there is never a single entry in any of these journal essays that refers to cannibalism as a way to take the power of someone else, is there?
I cannot give an exact answer, but I don't believe from my memory, no, I don't remember.
And you also talked about it in terms of cannibalism as a way to keep a lover with you after death, to paraphrase what your
Oh.
testimony was.
Boy.
You can't point to a single spot in these journals where Alex says that either, can you?
No, it's not in the journals, it was during conversation.
It's not in the journals, correct?
That is correct.
That's what I
And just
said.
so that I have it clear in my mind, the first time you actually talked to Alex was in a bar, correct?
That is correct.
All right. And you had seen him writing in his journal, correct?
Yes,
And at that point in time, he shared his writings with you, correct?
that is correct.
And so the first writing he shared with you when he's first meeting you in a bar was related to cannibalism.
That is correct.
Let's turn to the item dead to me. It's in the first set of tabs, tab number 2. And again, remember, the tab is before the entry, not after.
Thank you.
All right. Are you there?
Sorry,
Yes.
coolest
All right.
reviews. Alice
Uh,
is in my lap and she keeps hitting it and I
Now
keep
you
forgetting to mute. I'll
read
mute now.
a portion of the first or the last paragraph on that page that starts with "because you are dead to me." Do you recall that?
You said tab 2?
Tab 2 of the first section. There's 2 sets of tab numbers.
I'm sorry.
Right.
Yes,
It's a little confusing. I understand. All right. So we're on dead to me, right?
yes, we are on dead to me.
I don't know.
All
It
right,
seems
and so
pretty
that last
straightforward to
paragraph,
me.
You read that first sentence, which says, "because you are dead to me, this love fails to be truly erotic now, though it may have been. Instead, we are speaking of cannibalism," correct? You read that?
Yes,
All right. The next sentence actually reads then, "the you I loved was consumed by me, incorporated back into a flesh heterogeneous to itself," correct?
correct.
All right. And obviously, earlier in that same passage, he's talking about the person still being clearly alive, correct?
Yes.
So he is not talking about cannibalism in any actual sense, is he? Correct?
No, at this point it was philosophical. Yes.
It's a metaphoric sense, correct?
Yes.
Do you know what a metaphor is, Allie? Or Allie, Ezra? Sorry, I shouldn't be looking at the chat asking
And
questions.
there is not a single entry in there where Alex, in that particular essay, where Alex talks about consuming another individual literally, correct?
Correct.
Nonstop Mom's had enough. Look what you did, Ezra. You
Again,
broke
in that
Nonstop
first
Mom.
section of tabs, tab 5.
Violation?
Yes.
That's the best
Are you there?
comment ever.
Correct. I am there.
Okay, when you're ready, let me know.
Sorry.
Sure.
7 hours later. She'll be ready.
Ready, Council?
Yes.
All right. In that section,
I'm glad you
which
do,
talked
Allie, because
about a
many
portion of it.
people mistake metaphors
He also
and
writes, and this would be in the
analogies.
third paragraph, the last 2 sentences of that third paragraph, he states, "So I gave myself to you to attempt a healing love. Such an act is doomed from the start," correct?
Correct.
So he's indicating that his love is attempting to heal, correct?
I believe so.
That's what it says, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Let's move to, this would be
Not the no snow.
the second set of tabs, tab 1.
Oh my God. Are you seriously
Extra
sitting like
scriber.
that, Alice? Is that
Should
comfortable for
become
you,
as
you
you are,
maniac?
flaws and all.
It's not comfortable for me, but oh well.
That is correct.
All right. You ready, Council?
Probably another time I should have muted my
In that,
mic. Sorry
in the
about that,
last
guys.
Paragraph there, the start of that paragraph states, "Only by you coming naked to my call, essentially my being naked first, can love fully be erotic," correct?
Correct.
So essentially, he's saying that both parties to the relationship need to be naked to the other to expose their own flaws, correct?
Correct.
And you move to the next tab, tab 2 of
Hey,
the
Vincent's missing ear.
second section.
Oh my gosh.
And, my Latin is not very good, so I'm not going to even try to pronounce that.
What? You're a lawyer. What do you mean your
But
Latin
let's
isn't good?
Start with,
You are right, Molson man.
Going to
Hold
the
on a
second
second. I have to
page
tell
of
you
the
guys
typed
this because she's
portion of
such
it.
she's so ridiculous. Okay, so that new chair that I got has like a separate lumbar support that is a massager. Okay, she's laying on it, like the edge of it, pressed up against me. It's ridiculous. And giving me dirty looks like, bitch, would you scooch? If I
You sh-
scooch, you'll fall.
Turn it on and she'll jump.
No, I can't because I have to get the charger thing for it. You know what I mean? I can't. I'm not gonna. No, if she jumps, then she's gonna knock us all. No close reviews. It's just I haven't been live in a while, and you guys know how I act when I haven't been live in a while. It's like the very first time all over again. Like I don't know how shit works. All right, here we go.
You read that first sentence.
You're
about
not being
him
rude.
Those first 2 sentences about him being afraid.
Yes.
The rest of that paragraph, besides those first 2 sentences, reads, "Afraid I will use someone for redemption and self-mutilation, but I will love. I will love myself, forgive myself, and love you anyways. I am no longer myself. I don't know who I am. So let me apologize and forgive myself for becoming something new."
Correct.
And in the next paragraph, he talks, actually, never mind that. Let's go back to the first page. The second paragraph, the last sentence of that second paragraph states, "I really do love you, but I am unworthy," correct?
I'm sorry, I don't see where that
That's the
I-
second paragraph
Second paragraph.
On the first page or the second page?
on the first page of that journal entry, first typewritten page, second paragraph. It's the paragraph that starts, "This is old advice." Do you see that?
Yes,
All right. And the last sentence of that reads, "I really do love you, but I am unworthy," correct?
correct.
And you read a portion of the fourth paragraph there where that starts, "I have half-heartedly." The sentence after the portion you read reads, "Yet I love you," correct?
Correct.
Oh my God, why didn't he use the
And then moving
overhead?
down to the second full paragraph under DOJ 2483.
Because he's trying to make her
First sentence of
uncomfortable,
that
Mo.
reads, "My gratitude is that my fear of myself taught me to love more than I am allowed to," correct?
Correct.
And then continuing to the second last line of that same paragraph, the first sentence of that line reads, "I could follow you in your footsteps and give my life for whoever needed it," correct?
Correct.
Again, he's talking about giving his life for the one he loves, correct?
I can't say that, no.
Well, it says, "I could follow in your footsteps and give my life for whoever needed it," correct?
Correct.
Giving your life means many different things. I do like how the prosecutor always comes to,
Did you turn
Trial
to
with bedhead.
tab 4 in that section? That's from the past memories.
Yes.
All right. You read a.
they have just
part
really
there
broken
where it,
our poor nonstop
in
mom.
the-
I
the,
have
uh,
never
first
seen
full
her this
paragraph under
spicy.
2485.
Well, it is
paragraph that
annoying.
starts,
He's
"In the
not
face of all
asking
my
any
anxiety."
questions.
Do you recall reading
But
the
correct.
part that
Asking-
started with, "I know you
He's saying
wanted to
correct.
change me"?
Yeah.
Do you recall reading that?
Yes.
But you know why he was
Immediately
asking these
after the
questions?
part that you read,
Yes, but
is it
it's
not true
annoying
that
me
he
too.
All
writes,
right, all right, all
I'm
right.
on
quote, "I was
nonstop
too
mom
Hegelian,"
side.
or I call it such now.
We're
"You
here for you,
were my
nonstop
master,"
mom.
correct?
Correct.
Indicating that the one he's talking about, the love he's talking about, was his master, not the other way around, correct?
Yes, he wrote that.
Could you
It's like
turn to
improv.
tab
Oh,
7?
grief. Oh, no. Improv at the jury.
When I lost myself?
Yes. That's another one that you read something of right at the very end of
A
that,
little bit, yes.
passage. I want to talk about on the first page of that passage. Do you see it would be the first full paragraph under DOJ 2504, the paragraph that starts, "This is a naive result." Are you at that paragraph?
Yes, I am.
The last sentence of that paragraph reads, "In committing to a set of values, one formulates a naive ideal that one resolves, even if weakly, to strive toward," correct?
Correct.
And going back to the last page of that section, or the page that you had read something from,
I'm sorry, what page are you on?
we're on page, it's marked as page 30.
Not boogers on the
I
binder.
want to have you take a look at
Patient zero.
under DOJ 2507, the last two lines of that, and then the part of the first two lines of the next page, which is DOJ 2508. It's a page, it starts with, "I've recently fallen." Do you see that?
Yes.
And that reads, "I've recently fallen for a young man who is in a rather unhealthy relationship. I don't believe that I am doing evil. I suspect that I might even be doing good. But this means that even if only the former holds, I can really do whatever I will, so long as that is not evil," correct?
Yes.
You turn to the next tab, tab 8 of that section, titled "Between Love and Obligation." You
Yes.
there?
Yes, I am.
All right. In the second paragraph, you had read the first sentence of that. Move down about a few lines, it'd be the fourth line from the bottom, do you see where it starts, do as you will?
Yes.
And do as you will, it reads, do as you will, so long as you love, which gives far less freedom,
Hey,
as one
Sugar
cannot
Beet.
do anything when one loves, and love can cause quite limiting obligations, correct?
Yes.
And continuing down a little ways, under DOJ 2512, it'd be the first full paragraph under there, the third line down. Do you see where it starts, do as you will?
Yes.
All right, it reads, do as you will, yes. But there are things you also ought to do regardless of whether or not you want to, correct?
Correct.
And then finally on that, in the second last line on that page, it reads, you love, so I ought not abuse, correct?
Yes.
Let's move to the next tab. Another entry that you didn't, your counsel did not have you reference, but that's the one titled Letting It Be.
Yes.
Right. The third paragraph under there, the start of it reads that something is permissible does not mean one ought to do it, merely that one may, correct?
Correct.
Let's move to tab 21. Tab entitled Between Two Hands.
Yes.
All right. In the
Ugh.
portion that you read, Alex writes that there is writes as if he has a severely damaged hand, correct?
That is correct.
He does not in fact have a severely damaged hand, does he?
I only know what he described to me about his hand.
He does not have a severely damaged hand, correct?
I can't say that. No, I'm not a doctor.
Well, he was able to use both his right and his left hand, correct?
Yes.
Never saw him have difficulty using either his right or his left hand to do something, correct?
He was just describing to me the feelings about his hand. That is correct.
You never saw him have difficulty using either his right or his left hand, correct?
I cannot remember that. No.
I'm sorry?
I can't remember that specifically. No.
You can't remember that he had difficulty or that he didn't have difficulty?
Yes.
What? You didn't answer anything.
Let's move finally to another one that
He didn't even know what to
asked
say
you
to
about,
that.
which
I
is
would
the
have.
25th tab on that page titled Authors and Others.
Yes.
This is the tab immediately after the one titled Faith and Flesh, correct?
That is correct.
And take a look at the second paragraph of that entry. The second line down, you see where it starts, the author of Flesh and Faith.
Yes.
All right. That
I'm
reads
low-key missing
from
Medic
there to the
Jason
end of that
Roger.
paragraph. The author of Flesh and Faith believed that to have any value or any worth at all, they must possess self-hatred as to willingly kill themselves for the sake of any other. Their notion of love was such that being loved was a detriment to their lovability. The final sentences show this clearly. Being loved for them is absolute proof that they are incapable of loving or being worthy of love. Now, I cannot help but think their view is untenable, because they can only be good insofar as they are the sole guilty, as far as they will ever know. For meeting another lover damns the whole project to failure, correct?
Correct.
And moving to the next page.
Oh my God, are we going to
the
do
first
all
full
8,000
paragraph under
pages?
DOJ 2566 starts, I love you all, each and every author, reader, writer, you. Know that whatever becomes of me, for this unconclusive postscript is my suicide note. It will only be found post-mortem, correct?
Correct.
And then finally, he concludes this entry with, quote, always prefer life and never stop affirming survival. I love you and I'm smiling at you from wherever I am, correct?
Correct.
Non-stop.
Non-stop mom. No, don't do that.
Now,
We
when
like
you
you
talked
here.
to Detective Croc on March
This is
23rd,
mind-numbing, though. God.
I
of
don't.
the
I mean, I
18,
get it, but
you
he's
did
made
not
his
once
point.
mention
I
these
know. Move on.
journals to Detective Prock, correct?
I was answering his questions to the best of my ability at that time, but no, I did not.
You did not mention these journals to Detective Prock on March 23rd, correct?
No.
And you did not mention these journals to Detective Prock on March 24th either, did you?
No.
You also never once told Detective Prock on March 23rd anything about Alex and cannibalism, correct?
I don't
Max,
have any
Allie went
strong
there.
memories
Ask
about
Allie
that conversation,
79
but
went there.
if I've
Ask
seen
her
the
how much
transcript, I
it
know I have
was.
not.
And you never once on March 24th mentioned anything about cannibalism to Detective Prock, correct?
That is correct.
All right.
Hey, Kez Chick.
Now you-
Oh, I hope you feel
you're-
better, babe. I'm
On the
sorry.
stand yesterday, you said that Alex told you that he was going to have you one more time, correct?
That is correct.
However, when you talked to Detective Prock on, may I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
I wouldn't. She's patient 0.
Counsel, we're going to be on page 61 of Exhibit 290. Detective Prock asked you, okay, was it any time?
We don't have it yet.
Oh, okay. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
for Pete's sake.
No. We're starting at line 27.
That whole team is a wreck.
21, I'm sorry, 27.
49.
Thank you.
You ready?
Yes.
Okay. It says, Detective Prock asks, okay, was it any time during your guys' conversation, their talk about sex today or sex that day, about him wanting to have sex with you or you wanting to have sex with him? Your response is, no, I didn't want to have sex at all. Question, did he? Answer, I don't think so. Question, why did he have the knife and why, and to cut your pants? And your answer was, I think he just wanted to look at me, correct?
I was answering the questions to the best of my ability at that time for Proc. But yes,
Yeah,
I don't.
I read that accurately, correct?
Yes, yes, I don't dispute that. No.
So you never told Detective Prock in that interview that Alex wanted to have sex with you one more time, did you?
In that interview, no, I did not.
When you met, when you went to Mr. Sippel's residence and he asked you, based on the 911 operator's request, what happened, you told him you could not remember, correct?
I could not remember. Yes.
That's what you told him, correct?
Yes, I could not remember at that time.
You told Joe Wayne that you could not remember what happened, correct?
Yes, I could not remember at that time.
You told Joe Wayne that you could not remember what happened, correct?
That is correct.
You told the Deputy Shields that you could not remember what happened, correct?
Correct.
You told Officer Reeves you could not remember what happened, correct?
Yes, I could not remember.
You told Officer Reeves you could not remember what happened, correct?
Yes.
You told the first nurse at the hospital that you met that you could not remember what happened, correct?
Yes.
You told Dr. Tillotson you could not remember what happened, correct?
Which doctor was Dr. Tillotson again,
Dr.
please?
Tillotson was the one who testified in court.
Yes.
You told Jennifer Morris you could not remember what happened, correct?
At that time, I don't have strong memories of who I talked to, but yes, I could not remember at that time.
You told Jennifer Morris you could not remember what happened, correct?
Yes.
You told Kelly Swartos you could not remember what happened, correct?
Yes.
You told Detective Prock on March 23rd you could not remember what happened, correct?
Yes.
And
You
until
told the whole
Detective
world
Prock
you couldn't
confronted
remember,
you about
correct?
finding the car on that, at the end of that mud road, you told Detective Prock on March 24th you could not remember what happened, correct?
Yes.
And then after Detective Prock confronted you with that, you told him what happened, correct?
I didn't believe he was confronting me, but I started to tell him what had
Ma'am,
happened. Yes.
I didn't ask for an explanation. I asked you, you told Detective Prock after he confronted you what you claim happened, correct?
I told him what had happened to me. Yes.
There's that tone. Ma'am, I ain't playing with you no more.
And in that same interview, you told Detective Prock you could not get it out of your head what happened, correct?
I couldn't get the fragmented images, the smells, the feelings out of my head. Yes. But yes, I did say I could not remember or get it out of my head.
She just realized she busted herself.
Yeah, she did.
Okay, this looks like just a good spot. Just take Timeout, please. Okay.
Timeout.
Reporter, we're not getting real time. I don't know if you have. It's something we can troubleshoot quick.
Range 2, I already have my program running, and so when I plug it in, probably freedom from that, so then I can close it out, restart it, doesn't take me.
Okay, so I have to be with that.
Yeah, I can reconnect right, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
We're having a timeout.
And approach your honor,
You may-
page 55, counsel.
You should have told her 10 minutes before you wanted to approach so she could find the page. What are you doing, counselor?
One minute, I'm sorry, we're having a transcript issue. For some reason, that page is missing from our copy, so we're trying to find it on a different copy. So I apologize for the delay, I'll let them know so that we have to find it. Okay, we found it, got you.
So line 2499, you stated because it just was scary and I can't get out of my head, correct?
Correct.
All right. And Detective Proc says no, and we're sorry that you went through this. And then you respond, and it just keeps replaying and replaying and replaying, and I wish it would go away, correct?
Correct.
That's what you said. I love your attitude tonight, nonstop mom, but good night, babe. Sweet dreams. See you tomorrow. I hope you're even spicier
And you did
tomorrow
not
night. I like
admit
spicy
to
nonstop
Detective
mom.
Proc that you cut Boy in your arm until he confronted you with the fact that the wording and the way it was oriented did not make sense, correct?
Yes.
You told Officer Reeves that the incident
Hey,
happened.
recliner detective,
Owen
good to
Park,
see
correct?
ya.
I don't remember speaking very much with Officer Reeves.
Well, and if Officer Reeves testified that you told him it happened in Owen Park, you have no reason to dispute that, do you?
No.
And you told the nurse at the hospital that it happened in Owen Park, correct?
If it's in the transcript, then yes.
And you told Ms. Swartos, Kelly Swartos, that it happened in Owen Park, correct?
I would have to refresh my memory from the transcript.
Oh, for Pete's sake, not another page. Stop with the pages, Ezra. Stop playing with these folks.
Right?
You know you lied. Look, you bullshitted the whole time. You said you didn't remember, but then you later said it just keeps running through my mind over and over and over, replaying whatever the
But
hell it was that you
Nothing
said.
actually happened in Owen Park on March 22nd with Alex Woodworth, did it?
That's correct.
You weren't even
You
in
never,
Owen
in fact,
Park,
even went to Owen Park with
Boom.
Alex on March 22nd, did you?
That's correct.
so you're a liar,
And when you
aren't you?
told these people that it happened at Owen Park, you knew that nothing had happened at Owen Park, didn't you?
At that time, everything was.
Yes or no, ma'am?
Yeah.
Objections. She has a right to answer the question when she remembers.
Yeah, the question,
Okay, if you can't answer the question yes or no, then indicate I can't answer the question yes or no.
Okay.
And then you have to answer it how you can answer it. Okay.
I can't answer yes or no to that question.
that's fine. And you agree that when you talked to Detective Proc on March 24th of,
I love how Molson Man comes up with
Let's
a
just
new
do it
and
this way.
clever way
May I
to
approach
get you
your
guys to
May-
give me a.
I was laughing at that.
You are doing such a fan friggin' tastic job as a Molson Man. I love it.
Exhibit 270.
270, okay, go ahead, please. What page?
God, you should have emailed this lady last night to tell her what pages you were going to be bringing up, so it wouldn't take 7 years.
Exhibit 270, or 290, I'm sorry. That's my
Thank you.
fault.
Okay.
Oh, for
No, no
Pete's
worries.
sake.
What page number?
32. Starting at 1439. Ready?
Yes.
In that interview, Detective Proc asked you, Okay, and where was the knife now after he carved that in your arm?
I have learned a
Answer,
lot.
I think
Hi,
he
I've
put it in
learned
his
a lot.
pocket,
Good
or
to
he kept
see
it,
ya.
Or had it by him, but I don't remember, correct?
Correct.
But you knew that you had the knife and had taken the knife and left it in the ditch near Mr. Sipple's house, correct?
Yes, I was answering his questions to the best of my ability at the time.
Well, in fact, later in that interview, you admit that you had dropped the knife in the ditch somewhere, correct?
Yes.
You told Officer Reeves that you went to Racy's first on March 22nd before you went to Alex's residence, correct?
Judge, this was reviewed yesterday.
Okay.
She told Officer Reeves, so that's
I
an answer.
may have. If I asked it already, I will not.
Very well, go ahead and move on.
That's fine. I'll just continue with another area.
Yeah, please do, because we're all tired of this.
Ma'am, when you met with Detective Prock on March 23rd, 2018, you knew you were safe, correct?
Yes.
And when you met with Detective Prock on March 24th, 2018, you knew you were safe, correct?
Yes, I knew I was safe.
And you had met with Detective Prock before those two dates, correct?
Yes.
They met with him, in fact, on March 1st of 2018, correct?
Yes.
And talked to him about the John Hanson situation, correct?
That is
Oh, is
correct.
that what we're
And
calling it now, a
You
situation?
answered all of his questions that he asked you about the John Hanson situation, correct?
Yes.
With no problems, correct?
Yes.
Yet on March 23rd, 2018, you told Detective Prock you could not remember anything about what happened on
Oh,
March
thank you
22nd
guys.
after you left
Thank you
Alex
so
Woodworth's
much.
residence, correct?
The interviews, the 23rd and the 24th for me are one interview.
Well, the start of those that one interview now that you consider it as, actually, let's put it this way. You were in court when we played those two interviews, correct?
Correct.
And in the first one, which we played just before the end of a day, you recall that you told Detective Prock repeatedly in that you could not remember what happened after you left Alex's residence, correct?
Correct.
And you were present when we played the next day with Detective Prock, the interview of March 24th, correct?
Yes.
And you agree that you repeatedly, again, until Detective Prock confronted you about finding the car, told Detective Prock you couldn't remember what happened, correct?
I wasn't
Judge,
ready.
this is repetitive. This question has been asked and answered numerous times already.
I don't recall a specific question. Perhaps it has been, but I mean, again, because of the not finishing in one day, I'm going to give a little latitude. So go ahead and you can answer that question if you can. Overruled.
And at that point in time, when you
Mr. DeFore,
talked to,
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but could you repeat the question for me?
I thought it was answered already, so, oh, it wasn't? Okay. On March 24th, until Detective Prock confronted you about finding the car, you repeatedly told him you could not remember what happened, correct?
Yes, I had said that.
Why are you helping him? What is wrong with this girl? She's the one that raises her hand at the end of the day and asks, is there going to be homework?
And Detective Prock eventually asked you, why didn't you tell me about what happened, correct?
Would it be all right if I seen the transcript?
All right, we'll get there.
Oh, we'll get there.
You may,
Oh my gosh,
Look
this
at
would have
the-
took half the time if you used the overhead projector.
Hold on just a second. I need to make a comment here. We're almost done anyways. Let me just say this. I am having a lot of difficulty with the clutter situated around the prosecution's desk. Like Homeboy has to do leg lifts and hurdles to get over the pile over here. I mean, this doesn't seem like a safe work environment. I mean, why is she? I don't understand. Just let it go, Jen. Just let it go. I'm going to hit play.
Counsel, but he's done exactly the same part before me. If you want to let him do it again, it's okay, but I just wanted to point out.
Oh, you're going to let the
This is a
judge
different
do it
section
again?
of
You're
that.
giving permission?
Section.
Page 55,
Oh, I'm sorry, what line number?
2491.
Okay.
Ready?
No. Have Nelson look at it.
So starting
He's
at
quicker.
2491, Detective Prock And you're just now, how come you didn't tell me this yesterday when we talked, Ezra? Answer, because I didn't. It's too scary, correct?
Correct.
And Ms. McCandless, what's too scary is that you knew if you told the truth about
Here he
what happened, that
comes.
you'd be in fact charged with killing Alex. Isn't that correct?
That is not correct.
Thank you. I don't have any other questions.
Boom.
Redirect.
Can we have a short break, please?
All right, we'll take a 10-minute recess. Excuse the jury. After morning break, it's 10:06 a.m. Mr. Nelson, go ahead.
Judge, I understand this is Ms. Vishy's witness in the sense that she's been conducting the direct exam. However, plan is for me to do the closing argument. And so Exhibit 697, which is the blue 2-ring binder.
Oh my God, I can't with a binder. No. All right, that's it. I'm done with Ezra for tonight. Okay. Wow, that was a lot. Allie, I don't want to put you on the spot, but you want to come up here and discuss what we talked about on Saturday? What are you all gushing?
Because you're going to make her nervous. It's not bad up here, Allie, I promise.
Right after she says you're going to make her nervous. Oh, under her breath, she's over here like Brick from In the Middle. Nervous.
I love break.
I know you do. That's why I said it. You're going to make her nervous.
See? I told you. I was scared.
Don't be scared. Allie,
No, Allie, if I can do it, you can do it. Trust me. I failed public speaking 3 times.
Okay, Alice, this isn't going to work. For whatever, I don't know what monkey shines you're trying to pull, ma'am, but you're going to have to get down. Plus, you're making me hot. I'm in a whole hot flash with you. Sorry, you guys. That's not very professional. But this life. Allie, we were having we were kicking around a ton of theories. And it was really, really good. Don't be scared. It's just me and you up here. And Mo.
And me. Send her the link.
Okay, bossy boots.
Click it.
All right, hold on. I'll put it.
Yeah,
I'll just
you
put it
either mute or pause your YouTube or shut it off. And just use the StreamYard.
Are you on your phone, Allie? So if you're on your phone, if you have you have to open it up in your browser, because if you open it from YouTube, it'll take you. It's like a redirect, but it's you got to open it in a browser. So whatever browser you use, open it in your browser, and then just shut YouTube off. Send it in Messenger. Do this. Do that. Guys, they're so bossy tonight. Shamita.
Oh, I thought you were sending it in Messenger too.
No, I put it in the chat because I got lazy. I will send it. It is now sent it. There we go.
And it'll give you the option to turn your camera off and everything, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. I've already did it, Shamita. I'll do it myself. Like I'm over here just doing nothing. I'm not hosting or anything. Or while y'all bark orders at me, then Mo makes my guest nervous.
Nervous.
So you got to do it slow, because you know that's how Brick does it. He puts his head in his chest and whatever the word is, do it real slow.
I can hear you doing that too. She's scared.
You don't have to show your face, and you let's see. Yeah, get earbuds is be easier.
It has a little thing, coolest reviews, where it says edit avatar.
Yeah, yeah. You just edit your avatar. I'm gonna be blocking. Listen, the last person that blocked everybody and timed everybody out was Shmita. I'll have y'all know I have done very good ever since the one time when I blocked 83% of the chat. Every time I bring my phone over to me, I make sure when I put it down that the headphones are underneath the phone, as to not do that again. I have learned my lesson. Oh my God, it's so hot in here all of a sudden. And I think my legs have like 27 holes in them from Alice's claws, where she was like, how she has to hold on to you and make biscuits. It's so her love is so painful. But yeah, Allie and I had this really good discussion on Saturday about some things, and I wanted her to come. Yay! There she is.
Yay.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
No, can you hear me?
Yes.
How you doing?
Hello, ladies.
Hey.
It's my first time up here.
Have you ever
You're-
been on a panel before?
I was like a year and a half ago.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
See, you're ready for a second time.
What are we going to chat about?
So remember when we were
48 hours?
Yeah, you asked me, hold on, I'll go look. Because remember, we were talking about 48 hours, and you were asking me if the case against John
Oh, yes.
Hansen was still open. And then we started talking about, hey, Christine, all that other stuff, which I thought was really, we should talk about it again. Do you remember?
Yes. I don't remember. I would have to see the transcript.
What if I showed you the transcript in binder 4, section 8, page 374, the first paragraph on the 87th page down from the top?
Is it
That
before the tab or after the tab?
After the tab that begins with love is patient.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So actually, you'll have to refresh my memory. I know I asked about John's case, and then I was talking about how I think the reason why she went after Alex.
Tell that part.
Yeah, because Alex, during John's investigation, Detective Proc questioned Alex, and Alex told him that Ezra's story was not true.
No, as Ezra said, Alex told the cops that Ezra said that it was that it was not an assault, that it was consensual, and that I'm not saying no, but this is additional information, that it was consensual and it was a mistake and she regretted it or felt guilty about it, something to that effect. Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm getting spicy because I was frustrated with the prosecutor. Ma'am.
Yes.
I didn't ask that, ma'am.
Yes. And that's when I was freaking out messaging you guys, because I'm like, that's exactly it.
That's it. That's what it was.
Yeah.
That was it. She had to shut him up.
Yep.
He was about to spill the beans.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And was it March 2nd that he was interviewed by Detective Proc, I think? Or was it March 2nd that Jason made Ezra go to the cops and report it or something?
I think it was either the 1st or the 2nd. Yes. I'm going to come in on my phone. Give me just a second, okay?
Okay. Yeah, that's when the light bulb went off, because I was like, okay, now this makes sense.
Right.
Whereas throughout this whole trial, I was like, why in the hell still? I mean, like, it's one thing to be bitchy and like take your anger out on someone, but
that's extra. This is extra.
Yeah.
But then, okay, so then Allie said that to me. And then I said, didn't she being Ezra, ma'am, also testify that the reason that one of the reasons, other than this antique yellow cup and returning the heating pad and whatever else, a bookmark, she also wanted to talk to Alex about her number being written in the restroom at Racy's, right?
Yep.
So Allie's like, yeah, she did. And then I started to remember how all of these journal entries are handwritten. So, and she said she's read them.
Yep.
I know she read them for the trial, but she also read them before. And so that got me thinking, why would she need to ask him if he wrote that number? Because it
Yes.
wasn't just the number, there was a message underneath. So she would be familiar with his handwriting.
Yep.
And she would know whether or not he wrote it.
Yep.
Right.
She's a liar. She wanted him to zip it and not spill the beans.
As the annoying orange would say, zip your lip, onion dip.
Yep. And he wasn't going to. I don't know that he would just go out and be the town crier and tell everyone what he knows, but I think she didn't want to take the chance.
No, but when they failed to, okay, Ezra had several things aside from the fact that it was made up working against her in this situation, right? Let's take it at face value. We don't know anything other than what Ezra has said at this point, right? So then we do further investigation. Well, it's been several weeks and hopefully at least 1 or 2 showers, right? So there's probably not going to be any physical evidence. Okay. That's going to make it difficult to prosecute. Then on top of it, they're going to find out through discovery because Ezra said that so when she's talking to the detective, not even the detective, it's the officer, that she did say that she spoke to Alex about the situation, which is how they got a hold of Alex in the first damn ass place. Okay.
Yep.
So through that investigation, the defense, let's say they did try to take him to trial, right? His defense team would have found that through discovery, and they would have put Alex on that stand, which the prosecution knows, which is strike 2 why they wouldn't prosecute this. So Jason at this point is already on his path to screenshotting and timeline making because he's not buying it either. And when they fail to continue to investigate it, when they close the case, which I'm sure they did eventually, probably right after this homicide situation occurred, through that investigation, they probably closed the case against John, right? It was, but even if Ezra hadn't have done this, it was going to come out. And Ezra could have said, well, they didn't prosecute because there was going to be no physical evidence. And, it was my word against his, blah, 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 blah. But Jason was doing the screenshotting and the timeline making and putting it all together. And his next stop was going to be Alex. He was going to talk to Alex at some point. And she could not have that. So then we started talking about her story as far as what took place at the actual site. And we were talking about this whole getting stuck in the mud thing. And I think that Ezra is telling the truth about the vehicle getting stuck in the mud. However, I don't think she's telling the truth about who was driving and how that happened. I think Alex did get out of I think it occurred outside of the vehicle. And I think he intended, because Ezra said something that just stood out to me. If I don't leave my car running, sometimes it won't start. And it's not like it was a warm day. So why wouldn't they have the car running, right? So I'm thinking that what happened is it started outside of the vehicle and he tried to get away in the car and he got stuck. Because there's 2 spots where the vehicle was. The vehicle was moved. And then what else did we come up with, Allie? Because we had some good ones.
So most of the blood was outside, right? And Alex was found in the back seat sprawled across the back, right?
Yes. He had his head and arms.
Out.
What the hell is that word? Arms. Arms. There's no E in between his head and his arms outside of the vehicle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Arms,
So
that's two. I'm on a roll tonight.
when I watched 48 Hours, I wish I could take credit for this amazing brain work, but I can't. They thought the blonde lady prosecutor lawyer, she was being interviewed by people from 48 Hours, and she thinks that he crawled in back to try to get away from her, and that she tried getting him out, pulling him out of the car so she could drive away, and she couldn't because he's too big. So her plan B was, running, finding a house, and coming up with a
She
really
was
shitty story.
she was running.
Yep. But it makes sense because, of how his arms were out, his head was out. I mean,
Yeah, he was trying to get away from her. And this is the other thing that I doesn't why would they change who was driving? See, that
right.
part of her story just never made any sense to me. And Allie and I were talking about it on Saturday, and we are both, I think, of the opinion that Alex was actually a really nice guy. And that what happened was she shows up because she's a bugaboo. And Jason, because he's not for no reason. I mean, Ezra did give him reason. I would never act like this. I would never show ever that I was jealous. That's like the worst thing you can do. I'd act like I did not even care, but that's just me. As Mo has pointed out repeatedly, I'm not normal. So, so I would be the most aloof of the aloof. I'd be like, who? But
Yeah.
Jason busts in the door and is all, dun, 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 you need to have a tender venue for the delicate conversation. And it was awkward AF. And I think that it was awkward AF because I think, and Allie thinks this too, because I know we were talking about this and I don't remember who came up with it first. But we think that what Jason actually interrupted was Ezra wanting Alex to zip his lip onion dip.
Yep. And
We
that was
think-
you, by the way. But
Oh,
yep.
was it? Okay.
Yep.
All right. I couldn't remember. There has been a lot. This weekend was wasn't a good weekend for yours truly. But anyway, we're not going to talk about that. So,
Yeah.
that's what I think. I think he interrupted it. And from that point, I think that Alex agreed to talk with Ezra because I think he felt bad for her, quite frankly. And I do think he had feelings for her, but I do think he realized that she was
A liar.
200 pounds of crazy in a 120-pound bag. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. And I think Jason, not that he did anything, illegal, but I think that dude is emotionally stunted. Like, he is the most immature. How old is he? 34?
Yeah,
30.
and
He doesn't even know how old he is, but
he's incredibly insecure because to me, when I was 34, hanging around with kids who just barely learned how to drink or could get into a bar, on Tuesday and where I'm Wednesday,
Right.
it feels like babysitting.
Right. Like, how is that a good time?
Yeah. And that's the thing. This is the other part of the testimony that clicked all this together for us. We talked about this earlier. Jason never was asked, so obviously he's not going to volunteer. And I don't know why the state would keep it out, but they shouldn't have. Anyhow, when Ezra said that her and Jason were working to get back, were getting back together on the low, that they had spent you know, a couple of nights at hotels, hotel, motel, Holiday Inn, um, stuff like that, you know.
Yep.
They were trying to work it out. And then here comes, I think Jason overheard something. I think he's lying about what he overheard, frankly. I do not think that he heard Ezra say, just let him help you. How the hell would Ezra know that Jason is outside? Does she have ESP?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, you know, they were upstairs and she was solely focused on the damn yellow antique cup.
Yep.
Had to get that antique cup back. So that does, so yeah. And then I think he wasn't going to budge. And I don't think that, I do think that they stumbled on that place where they ended up. But I think the minute that car was put into park, I think everything went sideways from there. I think it was quick in that sense. Like, I don't think what happened was quick, but I don't think it went from like 0 to 100 over minutes. I think it was immediate. I think
yeah.
I think she won. I think what she tried to do at first, which is why they were outside of the car. I think what she tried to do at first was to lure him into having sex. And
yeah.
Go ahead, Allie. Go ahead.
I agree, because I was going to ask you your take on, now you see the footage of Miss Ezra in Racy's lacing up those boots, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
tying her boots.
Yeah.
Then when even if, let's say they were trying to push the car out of being stuck in the mud, even if when you have boots that are laced up and you're trying to move a car from being stuck, your boots are not going to come off. Like, they're not going to come off. So how did her boots, how are they removed? She removed them.
Of course she did.
Yeah. So she was probably trying to, my opinion is she took the knife. Alex knew she had the knife and she was going to do a little bit of, some kink. And he didn't want to, and that's all she wrote.
So, I don't think the knife was for kink.
Well, I think that's how she introduced it in that situation. Do you not think so?
Mm-mm.
No.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I think that she tried to pull the "come on, one last time" thing. Come on, all us girls know how to pull that. Guys, pull it too. Just one last time. The last time was the last time, asshole. But she tried to pull one last time. One last time. No, the last time was the last time. Too bad you didn't know. But yeah, I think that's what she tried to pull. And I think that what happened was, I think that she was going to try and then spin it. I don't think that she went out there. I think she had two plans. I think she went out there with plan A was to get him to have sex with her and then to cry that it was an assault. And I think that when that didn't happen, that's when it all just went crazy, because then then he was privy to the plan, right? Because then he could say, well, she tried to lure me out here, and then look what she did to John, and yada, 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 right? So no, it was not going to be good for Ezra. And she was trying to work on getting back with John or Jason, and she acts like, oh, it was no big deal. Look, lady, it was a huge big deal. Your mom kicked you out of the house over it, all right? Like, stop playing with these people. Okay? Yep. And I think that when he wouldn't do it, that's I think, part of the reason why she is stopping short. And her attorney keeps making it a point. Well, she never said she was SA'd. She said she didn't know. That they keep making that point.
Well, why would you then let your boyfriend bring you to the cop shop and discuss it?
I'm talking about with Alex. So when
Oh.
she's never, to Ezra's credit, she didn't actually outright state that Alex had assaulted her sexually. What she said was, I don't know. I just
Yeah.
know it hurts down there. Yeah, it hurts down there because you cut yourself with a knife, you maniac, in a
Yep.
very sensitive and delicate area.
Meow.
Like, come on. Respect the V. What is wrong with you, Ezra? So I actually think that her plan was to convince him to keep his mouth shut. And then
Yeah.
that
Backfired.
went, well, I don't think she planned on Jason busting in. And I think that because Jason insisted that they find a tender venue. I don't even know what that is. Like, everybody get on your phone and Google tender venue and see what comes up.
I don't know. It sounds like
Probably
something that Care Bears would have a cup of coffee at.
It sounds
You
like
know, like,
it sounds like something on Pornhub. I'm not even gonna lie. That's what it sounds like. Sounds like you're gonna be on Urban Dictionary or in the dark web before you know it. But I think that she was like, okay, he's gonna think that we did it. So I've got to come up with some type of something, right? And then when Alex wasn't cooperative, then he became a witness who had to be disposed of. And I think that's how she regarded him, frankly.
yeah. Well, I was going to go back there this weekend just to do the drive from Alex's place to the place where, the car was,
Right.
and they found Alex. Now, I obviously I didn't. I told you that, but I did Google map it, and it's a ways. I mean, if you're gonna go, if your intent is to go somewhere, private or whatever, and go have a discussion, you don't drive way out in Nowheresville, 30 minutes away, up a road that nobody goes. Like, I wanted to go there so bad because I wanted to see, because wasn't she living at her mom's place at the time? Now I know her mom kicked her out, but where was she physically staying?
At her dad's.
At her dad's.
Because he had the dart tournament and
Okay,
he
yeah.
was inebriated.
So
He tried
that's
to hide
right.
the keys, but he only did was put them on a high shelf.
Yeah, that's right. So what I wanted to do was
Worst hiding spot ever.
see, like, Google map it. Like, how do you drive to that exact spot? Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I remember when I covered the Texas cadet murders.
I
No.
don't.
Okay. So where they killed Adrian was in a spot on the Grand Prairie side of Joe Pool Lake. So Joe Pool Lake is a huge lake, and it's in between two cities, Grand Prairie and Arlington. Okay. And
Wait a second, Jen. Is that the one with the dark-haired chick? And then they
Yeah.
were in. Okay, yes, I do remember.
yeah, Adrian Jones was the victim, and it was David Graham and Diane Zamora.
Yeah.
So, okay. So there are a lot of entry points to Joe Pool Lake. And I mean, there's public ones and then there's private ones, but you can, if you drive around enough, find a place that started out public and ends up private. Do you know what I mean? There's other little roads. And it seems to me that before I say sort of, this is not like my end all be all thought process, but I'm curious how somebody would accidentally stumble on that. I need to see, like, go, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
No.
how did she find it? And more importantly, how far is this specific spot from the park that she said she was at?
Oh, far. Very
Yeah,
far.
it's far.
Okay. Okay. That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure. You know what? You guys know I don't do good with maps.
Yeah, it's like 30 minutes away.
Yep.
I'm so curious how she found this out of the way spot.
That's why I wanted to see, I wanted to map out where her mom's place is, where her dad's place is, and the different routes you can take to get into, well, Racy's or Alex's.
Right. Because she's super vague on, she acts like this is only her third day to drive in her
Right.
life. Like she didn't
'Cause
go
she's
through
so
driver's ed
scared.
or anything. You know, yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
Well,
'Cause
her
now
dad didn't live in the same town as Racy's either.
No.
No, she drove. Yeah, it took her a minute.
Well, I
Yep.
don't know. When I was young, we used to go country riding. So I guess you could just go country riding and see a turnoff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
And
you
it's,
could, sure, but we're talking, okay, but that would be somebody who isn't scared to drive. Jason
Right.
and Ezra have both testified that she has some type of driving anxiety that causes her to, I don't know, have to
and we,
stop at a red light and switch drivers, which that's the other thing. Hold on, I'm going to switch.
and we all know Jason doesn't like to drive his storage locker. He
Yeah,
prefers bicycles.
that's I want to ride my bicycle. That's another thing. Like it's the whole like setup is really weird. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I just feel like it's such an out of the way. It doesn't seem like it's accessible because it didn't occur to them when they got Ezra the first day when it happened on the 22nd. It did not occur to them to retrace her steps to finding
That's what
her
I thought
vehicle.
was weird.
I
You know
think
what I
it's weird too.
I think they thought he took her car and left.
Maybe, I don't know, but it's weird that it didn't occur to them. You know, maybe they had to give it time. I mean, I know they talked about sort of they did go looking for him. And I think that when they were doing the looking for him and talking to people, and they said, well, it's Ezra, you know, everybody made a face and a look. And it's like, oh, hell no. No, no,
Yeah.
no, no, no. No, no, no. She didn't, I mean, she may have come from a ditch, but that's because she left him there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And then when they did find the spot, it was interesting hearing them discuss it in that 48 hours just because they said we saw her footprints.
Yeah.
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 I'll have to look that up and watch it.
Well, I was
And
going
man,
to play it
there's
Oh, you are? Okay,
after
good.
we're all done. Yeah.
there's absolutely no way I would take even though my trusty Volvo is four-wheel drive, I would not take it up that. I looked and studied that dirt road, and it's windy, and the mud is deep, especially this time of year. So I'm just surprised Alex would be like cool with driving up that road.
Yeah. See, this is what I think. This is why I think that he tried to get away. I think this is why I think that that's what happened, because the way that the story goes, as far as how the day, not just how the day started out, but from the time that Jason busts in till they take off, right? And then and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, Alex is driving. I think that the reason she added that part to the story, because it's really a stupid detail and really doesn't mean anything. It's there for a reason. And I think the reason is because Alex did try to get away. I think he tried to get away in the car. And
Yeah.
I think she was worried that they were going to, which they did, but they couldn't get usable prints, that they were going to try to fingerprint the gear shift in the steering wheel, and she was going to have to account for that.
Yep.
And my theory, I've learned a lot is about the many layers. I mean, she's like a whole ogre / onion with those layers. I think she intended to get rid of some of the clothes. That's why she brought so many. And I think that she thought that she could get, I really do think that she thought she could get Alex to commit SA, and that was going to be the end of it. But just in case he didn't go for it, she had another plan.
That's really interesting, Jen, because if you and Mo, if you look back at old pictures of Ezra, right?
Mhm.
Look at ones that are available on her Insta and stuff. She doesn't pile on a ton of clothes. I mean, she doesn't, not in the older pictures. Now, she did on that day, and she did in court.
Yes.
Yes, she did.
And I think, and it's the way that she was layered
Yeah.
that doesn't make sense. Like, why? First of all, she has no foundation garments on.
Yeah.
Okay.
You mean like
But-
undies?
Yeah, she's got no chonies and no bra.
Yeah.
Then she has, who puts a flannel over a sweater?
Right.
And this, I mean, that doesn't even seem comfortable. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's, but then no coat.
Right.
Plus tights.
Yeah. Yeah, very weird.
And I agree with Heather.
Very weird.
I think that the day that she was the most layered was the day that Jason Mangle testified. And I think that was for two reasons. Obviously, as Allie told us, and it's come up before too, it came up in the 48 Hours interview, that the sweater she was wearing under the blazer is a sweater that he had given her. And she does take the blazer off to show the sweater.
Oh, I didn't even know
Like in
that.
the middle of his testimony, which was
Mhm.
like a shock factor. Like she did it for shock value, which is like, nice try, Ezra.
Right. And I think I kind of know where it was. And when you know how I always put together a video when we're done with everything, just to highlight stuff. I think, and that's another good point too. But I think that I will say this, that I think the reason she did that was twofold, because nobody thought it made sense that you would wear a sweater and then a flannel, which is why she wore the sweater underneath the blazer. And she could have worn any sweater, but she didn't. She wore the sweater he gave her. So that was a dual reason. And I agree with that too, Le Chat Noir. I do think that was part of the reason that she said that he drove, but I actually think that he tried to get away in the car. I do.
Yeah, I agree. That makes the most sense.
I do.
Oh, and in that 48 hours, Alex's dad talks and Alex's grandpa talks, and I just cry.
Of course. So I think that I definitely am leaning more towards more planning on her part than I initially thought, because I don't know anybody who has 87 knives in their car, which is an exaggeration. It's like 3.
Yeah.
Okay, a whole ass tent, but nothing to figure out how to get unstuck from mud.
A brick.
A brick,
She was looking for
pillow.
a break.
a pillow.
The tent would have got her out, but she didn't want to ruin her tent.
You
Yeah,
know,
Could have stuck that
yeah.
under the tire. Or she could have stuck the floor mat under the tire.
She could have called a friend to pull her out of the fucking mud, for Pete's sake. It's a freaking Impala. It's not like a tank. Okay, this isn't like that scene from Selena when they get the bus stopped. The
Yep.
bus stop, anything for Selena's. Yeah, it's not like that.
I have another question.
I just
For
want to
you.
know what she was going to do with that. What were you going to do with a brick? How was a brick going to help you in this situation?
Right.
Brick would not have helped at all. Unless she was going to bash his head too.
Right? Like, was she pissed? Like, look what you got us into now, Alex. Boom. You know, like, come on.
Yep.
It's weird.
She's so weird. Okay, do you remember when she testifies, and it was when her and Jason were in the hotel and he found the text messages on her iPad. She calls it an iPod. It's not an iPod, sis, if you're getting text messages, it's an iPad, but
No,
anyway.
it is an iPod.
It's an iPod?
Yes.
Yeah.
I said the same thing too. And
It
here
looks
comes
like a
Mo.
little phone.
She said,
Are
gave
you
me the
serious?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
totes an iPod.
Well, I stand corrected. But do you remember her saying Jason chucked it and it broke?
Yes.
So where does she? Okay, so she doesn't have money to get a normal phone, but she just replaced it for another amazing iPod.
See, that's what I was thinking too.
I don't
but
know.
then I started,
Maybe the screen just broke. Or did she say it broke?
but
I guess.
she just said it broke. No, and there was no further elaboration.
Yeah.
All right, I'll find the 48 hours and we'll play it tomorrow. I'll find it for you guys. But yeah, none of this. I mean, I'm picturing an old iPod, which doesn't really have like a screen. You know what I mean?
Me too. Yeah.
And I'm thinking, what the fuck? How are you? But then Mo's like, no, it's like an old phone. Okay. But then I started thinking about it. And let me tell you, this phone of mine has seen some shit and has been through some shit. Do you know how many times I've dropped this thing and I haven't cracked it once? Knock on wood.
Oh gosh, you better knock on wood. That's
Well, I
what
have a
was
case
getting ready
on
to
it.
say.
I have a case on it.
Tomorrow, Jen's gonna be texting
No.
in the chat. I dropped my phone.
No, because the case, the case I have on it keeps it from breaking. When I got this phone for Mother's Day, I always get a case because everybody knows how accident prone I am.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say something about her stupid phones or lack thereof.
Yo, Google iPod Touch, and it'll show you. It's just like a little phone.
But my thing is, this is the other thing. The one thing that could have helped her in this situation, right? The day of, on March 22nd, she broke, which was Alex's phone.
Yeah. Yep.
But that's a lie too, because actually, where they found Alex's phone was in water,
Ouch.
and she had to. They couldn't use Cellbrite. They had to do something. They had to actually physically extract the. They talked about it in order to be able to then retrieve the data off of it. Because she
And there's
broke.
no-
His phone.
There's no way that phone broke like that. Okay, because she fell and her hand hit it really hard.
Yeah.
No.
But she barely
Oh,
has
yeah, no.
anything on her hands. No, she I think what she did
She
was
chucked it.
she chucked it into
She
the
used
water.
the brick that she was going to use to get unstuck and then chucked it.
I wish they would have looked for a brick. I bet they wouldn't even have noticed it if it was near the phone. I bet that's why she came up with brick. Who comes up with brick?
Right. Who would even say that, dum-dum?
Right. Like you've already got other weapons in the car that are meant to be weapony, right? That's not a word, but you know what I mean. But then here you come with, I was looking for a brick.
I bet
Or
she
s-
found a brick and broke his phone with
or
it.
something. No, his phone wasn't broken like that. It was underwater.
Well,
And they
the
got it.
top was all smashed.
I mean, yeah, but it was,
Yeah.
but we don't know when that happened.
Yeah,
He could have done that. She
true.
never even tried to call 911 from the phone. She took his
Molson,
phone though.
write her and ask her why she said brick and where the yellow cup is. We've got questions and we need answers.
I'm gonna
Well,
I'm gonna
she'll
write
just
to
lie.
Ezra and see if I can get her to come on the. I'll see if I can write the prison and get permission and have a phone call with her and play it for you guys.
I just want
Gosh, yes. Well, she would just
Jason.
lie, but still it'd be
Who
cool.
cares? I just want to hear what her lies are.
I just want Jason to accept my
Don't
friend
have me on
request.
panel that night. I'll be like, "Where's the yellow cup?"
No, that'll be. I'll be flying that mission solo. Thank you, Ghost Rider.
Oh. Can you imagine having her call from the prison? I would want to be so mean and just tool on her.
No, you don't. But yeah, but if you, I mean, I want. Of course, that's what my inclination would be, to be mean. But if I wanted to get anything out of her, that would be a waste. We'll only
I
get
mean, I
20
know,
minutes.
but it would
Yeah, you can't be mean.
make me feel better.
No, yeah, I'll just wait until she's off the phone, get any questions I can answered, and then roast the shit out of her like a normal person. That's not normal according to Mo.
Well, I was thinking about it while we were playing that. I was thinking, I'm probably not the normal one.
I think normal is relative.
Right. But you know how shy I get about stuff. I would probably never ask a question.
Yes, you would, Mo.
No,
Yes,
Mo
you
would be hoping that I would be on the jury with her, and then she would be hitting me.
I'd write her a note.
She'd be elbowing me. Jen, ask this. Jen, did you ask that? Jen, can you ask this? Like, she
Yes,
is
that's exactly what
almost
I
a
would do.
foot taller than I am. Well, no, that's not true. I'm 5'4", and how tall are you, Mo? 5'10"?
5'11" and a half.
5'11" and a half. Okay. So, but I'm the one, everybody's scared of the me. I do her
I
talking.
had to get Jen to call.
I totally forgot about this.
When I went to visit her, I rented a car and I hardly used it because it ended up being COVID while I was there. And I had to get her to call to see if they could take the charges off.
No.
Her husband was looking at us like we were crazy because I said, I'm hard of hearing. My sister's going to have
That's the
to talk
part.
to you."
It wasn't, that's the part that my husband was like, wait, what? But then he laughed because he's like, that's totally what her and her sister would do.
I turned around and he was looking at us like,
And then so she puts, I got the whole thing
Oh, I
taken
can
care
still
of.
see
I
his
got her a
face.
whole discount and apology and everything. And I was
like as a
nice.
little old lady, hard of hearing, and didn't know what was going on.
And I was nice. I wasn't even rude about it. I was perfectly pleasant to the lady. She was just scared.
Yeah, and
Here-
she probably heard me when I turned around and looked at your husband. And was like, I don't like talking to people.
That's probably, and that's probably why she was like, this one's got issues. And one of them is going to, they're sisters. One of them's going to twist off on me. Let me just give you the discount.
I used it. I did like 12 miles and it was $500.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot.
The only place we drove to
But
was,
I paid extra for the toll to
yeah,
where I could go through tolls free. And the only place I drove it was to the grocery store,
we went to the grocery store and we went to the corner
which we could have
store.
walked to.
Yeah, but
Oh,
that was fun. We had so much fun.
Oh.
Yeah, the sun.
Well, we
passed.
had big plans. We were going to drive to the other side of Florida, and then COVID happened, and
Mhm.
I'm glad we didn't go.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah, we had plans that for that time. Instead, we spent 95% of it in the backyard.
we made up. Oh, never mind. I'm getting way off track.
It was fun. It was fun. We had fun.
We made up names for different parts of the yard.
Remember when I took that picture of Alice and Nestor that they were all social, and I posted it for social distancing so people could understand because Alice was like 6 feet away from Nestor. And then we took a picture together when she got there and sent it to the chat, and Mo turned me into a man. Actually, I'm not a bad.
Stop,
I'm not.
gonna pee in my
Boy.
I'm
pants.
not a bad looking guy, you guys. I'm kind of hot.
Well, the new one, the new man I just did, I'm not hot. But my old man, the other app, I'm pretty hot on that.
Yeah, Mo's pretty hot on that one too.
This one I look like an IT guy. Nothing against nothing against IT people.
Mine looks like I'm a salsa instructor.
Yeah.
I look a lot more Hispanic as a man than I do as I look a lot more Mexican as a man than I do as a woman. It was fun. But yeah.
Sorry, we just went off into our own
Completely.
little place.
we're not talking to anybody else. But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, you guys. I showed that picture to my husband and I said, I think Mo's hot for me. And he's like, what are you? And I showed him and he was like, oh. He just shakes his head at us because we do the most ridiculous things. Oh God, that was fun though. But yeah, I do think I think that there's a lot of parts in Ezra's story that are true in a way, but they're not the 100% truth. Like when she said that Alex drove, he probably did drive to get away from yo ass. He didn't drive you out to that field.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way.
I think,
agree.
I do think that I wasn't sure. I was feeling this way early on, but then when his friend testified, that's when I was like, I felt it was different because
Court Fox.
yeah, because it's what he said that about Alex, but more about what Alex said to him about Ezra, how he felt about Ezra.
Which was nothing. He didn't say much, did he, Alex?
He did. To him, to court, he said that basically she was more trouble than she was worth.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yep. Because they went to that bar, The Joint, and I drove by that a couple times. I wish I would have taken a picture.
Now, I will say this, and I'm not being critical. I just find it interesting. I have been to many bars in my day, all kinds of bars, dive bars, gay bars, straight bars. I've done many a pub crawl. And at no time in any of my barring have I ever taken a journal and started just writing. Like I've never gone to a bar and been like, I'm going to write the next great American novel. Here I go.
Yeah. I'm going to go get hammered with my friends. And
4 Jaeger shots later, I don't even remember that I had a fucking journal.
Well, I would hang out at the bar more than the coffee shop. That's for sure.
Well, right. But Ezra couldn't get in.
Oh,
That's
that's
what I was
right.
going to ask you. How old was she when this happened? Because I can't
19.
remember.
She was 20,
19.
I think. Wasn't she?
Well, she's 20 when she was on trial, 19
Oh,
when it
okay.
happened.
Okay, because I recorded her sentencing, and I was trying to figure out how old she'd be when she got paroled. But I'm not going to tell y'all.
Well,
Spoiler.
50
Now-
years.
spoiler!
It's not a spoiler, Mo. We've talked about it 87 times.
So she'd be like 74, right?
Yeah,
Or
something
no.
like that.
Yeah.
Her birthday is October 6th.
Her lawyer argues. Oh, never mind.
Now, don't tell.
Yeah.
That's the spoiling part, maniac, not the 50. Lord Jesus.
Well, she argues about how much time she's already served. Like,
I know.
600 days is gonna make a difference.
That's really shaving some time off there.
Right. Get an
I mean,
A for
they
effort.
I'm not gonna tell you. Sorry.
What, say it.
They argue over 4 days.
I know.
Have you already watched it?
Yeah, she's
Over
watched
the
it.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Yep.
So, Heather, to answer your question, I don't think so. Not dangerous that way. I think that Alex realized maybe a little too late and caught feelings. And but what I think Alex realized was that he was a means to an end. This is before what happened on March 22nd. I think this is really what caused the breakup between Alex and Ezra, although she broke up over text. Okay, Barbara badass, whatever. Anyway, why don't you just ghost him? That would have been better. But I feel like I think he realized that he was being used as a pawn to make Jason jealous.
I agree.
I think what happened is I think Ezra got pregnant, which probably freaked Jason out because frankly he didn't want anybody in the relationship to be a kid except for himself. And having a
Exactly.
child means that you cannot worry about yourself anymore. You have to worry about that child. And
Someone in the chat asked
go ahead.
if we thought it was Jason's child or what's his name, John?
No, I think it was Jason's. But I will. So I think Jason panicked, and I think that Ezra expected him. I think Ezra really wanted him to say that he wanted the baby, but he didn't really want the baby. But he also didn't want to tell her what to do. I think he's telling the truth about that part of it, and I think that things changed for him at that point. And I think he realized that I think he took a step back and was like, there's a huge age gap. And maybe this isn't going to be a good idea long term. And I think he started distancing himself from her because
What
of
makes
that.
you think it was Jason's?
What makes you think it wasn't?
Well, I would think that she would want to have it to trap him, but she couldn't have it if it was somebody else's.
I don't think that Ezra wanted a baby at all because Ezra was thirsty for attention and a baby would have completely messed that up.
That's true.
I think what she wanted more than anything else was for Jason to want her to have the baby. And I think that she was disappointed and relieved when he didn't. You know what I mean? I think she would. I think that she still would have ended up terminating the pregnancy. What I'm thinking is that she wanted him to at least entertain the idea, or even just have an opinion, right? But he didn't. He been
right,
which is weird because
he's weird.
Yeah, he is. But if you think about it, the way she views the relationship, and she told many people this, whether this is true or not, I don't know, but this is her perception or her story, is that he was a bossy boots, that he controlled everything, right? And so for him to take such a passive role in that type of a situation is it doesn't make sense. It doesn't line up. And but I don't think she wanted to have the baby either. I don't think she wanted to trap him like that. I not with the baby.
No, that makes sense.
I can't believe he said to her, "You look like a clown." Somebody who wears khaki high waters that like from Baby Gap. I mean, honestly, dork.
Somebody who didn't bring a change of clothes for court.
Right. Ugh. He's just not self-aware at all, and he's kind of a little bit pompous, and a lot dumb. 10-4.
Tango, Roger, Cash, Echo, Bravo.
I wish we could show the picture. I wanted you to at least share it with
Oh, I
Molson
will.
Man.
I will. I will. This is the other thing that I'm thinking, and I think I can highlight this. Not this one. Okay. There is nothing that suggests that in the beginning of their relationship that Ezra was cheating on him. It didn't start until October of the next year. So they met in the summer, right? And when she got pregnant and had the procedure done, that's when it started. It was after that there was distance between them both, in every sense of the word. He was sleeping on the couch.
Yeah, what a big baby.
Big baby.
Yeah, I mean, for him to be the age he was, there's just a disconnect. And then this is the other disconnect. So he testifies that they joked about marriage and children. Excuse me, on March 21st, because we have the text messages. See, NK, this is what real people do. They be saving that shit, okay? When you don't got nothing to hide, you don't hide nothing, lady. I'm sorry, ma'am. But we have those texts. Well, they're not texts, DMs, whatever. Some are texts, some are DMs, whatever. Bottom line is, there's evidence of words exchanged in text form between the two of these jokers, where he says she's the only person he ever wanted to have his child, which is a weird thing to say to somebody who was pregnant and then isn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they were going through that whole immature thing, like, we don't want to be together, so we're going to break up. And then, oh, it feels really weird when we're not together, so we're going to cling to each other. It's like that whole, I don't know.
High school.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
like, you're way too dependent. Like,
I bet the military is really rethinking letting him in.
No shit.
Like, how the hell did he get past our radar? Because it's not like one test. You know what I'm saying? There's a multitude of tests.
I guess where he said Roger a lot, they thought he'd fit in.
Did he use the word affirmative? Or no?
No, negative.
Damn. It would have been way cooler if he did.
Roger was the affirmative. Negative was obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, and Tinder Venue is not in Google.
Thank God.
Well, apparently it's a bar near Molson Man, but I don't know how close he lives to them.
Pictures, or it didn't happen.
Maybe that's what he
Molson
meant.
Man.
Go to the Tinder Venue bar. They just didn't understand. That's what they were looking for, the Tinder Venue bar, and they got lost.
Yeah, and wound up in a fucking field.
Yeah. Hey, I used GPS one time and ended up in the middle of the woods that were surrounded by trees.
Scary.
What other kind of woods are there? Are there woods that are not surrounded by trees?
Well, I mean that too, yeah.
It took me like 48 wide turns to get out. I don't know why I kept going. It's clearly not a road.
Did you ever stop and think, this doesn't look like anywhere where the fuck I'm supposed to be at? I mean, did you Google some ass place in the woods?
My first time using GPS, I didn't think it would lie to me. I never made it to the party either. I was like, I just gotta go home.
I was in the woods surrounded by trees, as opposed to the woods next to that, adjacent, that were not.
Oh.
It was pitch black. It was awful.
Well, I'm glad you made it out of there, Mo.
Me too.
Me too. I didn't have a brick if I got stuck, so I don't know what I would have done.
You were SOL, brickless and surrounded by trees. What to do?
Amelia,
Oh,
my husband, I have my earbud in so he can't hear anything. And he just opened the door. He's like, "What are you laughing at?"
it's me. There's just such a
It's like complete silence in here, and I'm just dying laughing. Sure, I sounded like a lunatic.
Oh, my husband is used to it. He asks. Remember how before I used to come live with Dr. B and he could come busting out here talking about where's the toaster oven, an appliance that we haven't owned in probably 5 or more years. But now he asks me, "Are you live?" Yes, I'm live. And no, we still don't have a fucking toaster oven. I don't even know why you wanted. Just use the regular oven. I didn't want to dirty anything. The toaster oven will dirty something. The toaster oven gets dirty. What's the matter with you? Just use the regular. Do we have a toaster oven?
Jen. All I picture when you talk about your husband are his chilly nights and what your kitchen looks like.
Oh God. I will say this. I'm so grateful that the weather has turned warm because
Oh, this has
warmer.
been years, Allie.
What?
The chili battle is been years.
Really?
Yeah. We
Yeah.
finally taught her about the crock pot liners.
Because I used to.
Oh, and the dip. He used to make dip too, and it was a whole thing.
Because you know when you make queso in a crock pot, right? How messy and it gets stuck to it or whatever. And this loved queso, but I would hide the crock pot from him because I didn't want him to make the queso because it's a bitch to clean. And then Mo's like, "Oh, there's crock pot liners. They've been a lifesaver, mainly for Lonnie."
Yeah. Oh.
But yeah, then the chili. Yeah, the chili is a nightmare. The only thing I'm glad about it getting hotter is there will not be chili because it's too hot. Thank goodness for that. No, he'll try to. What he'll do is he'll get online and start looking at stuff, right, for meals, and come home with like a whole chicken or some crazy ass shit and be like, "I'm gonna make this." Okay, I'll be here when you get back. Like, I can't with him. Well, don't you want to try new things? This isn't a new thing. What are you talking about? Homemade chicken noodle soup? I've made it 87 times for you. What do you mean a new thing? You mean you want to make it? Is that the new thing? Go ahead.
Oh.
He likes to try. I mean, he just. He has come in after I've made Thanksgiving and be like, "How is this kitchen so clean?" It's called clean as you go.
Yeah.
Okay. And also, if you'll notice, even if I didn't clean as I go, you can see, because I don't have a dishwasher, right? But you can see the dishes that I've already used. If you're watching the replay, just go ahead and shut it off now because we've gone so far off topic. You're not going to hear shit about Ezra.
Gosh, Heather, gross. I wouldn't like your chili either. Don't put peanut butter in chili.
Oh.
What did you do that for? To thicken it?
You maniac.
But yeah,
sorry. Oh, gosh,
we've just
that
gone
was
so
way
far
rude.
off.
Sorry.
No, you're all right. We've gone so far off the Ezra topic that you can just skip however much is left. I don't think we'll be getting back on it tonight for the replay. But you can see, because I have to hand wash everything, that even making Thanksgiving dinner does not necessitate using every dish, spoon, plate, every utensil, appliance that we own.
This explains why he thought that you had a toaster oven. He just thought you hid it from him.
Wait till you see this kitchen, Mo. There's no fucking way I could hide anything. This kitchen is so little.
Oh, you could hide it.
Yeah, in the trash can where that shit belongs. Now, I get in trouble for that quite frequently. Why is it my shit we're always tossing out? Because have you seen your shit? That's why it's in the trash.
So my husband does all the cooking, and I just do the dishes and not complain because I hate cooking.
I hate cooking too.
Oh, I hate it.
I used to like cooking, but I've been doing it for, y'all know that this month will be 27 years I've been with my husband. Isn't that crazy? I don't even feel like I'm emotionally mature enough to be with somebody to have known somebody for 27 years, much less be with somebody for 27 years.
That's
You
so
should get a-
sweet, though.
You
You
should
guys
get a
should go
medal.
somewhere.
I don't know what we're gonna do. Probably nothing. We never do anything really for our anniversary. But anyway,
Yeah, I went to Vegas one year.
that was for Christmas.
Oh,
Our anniversary is in April.
sorry.
No, it's all right.
And I've learned a lot. That's gross too.
What's this? What'd she do?
My stepmom's mother used to make peanut soup every holiday. Oh, so disgusting.
Peanuts.
Hey, NFL, what is it?
I don't know, but it's gross.
Huh. It doesn't sound good either.
No,
I mean, I'm
It's
not trying to be rude.
And we would bring like our boyfriends or girlfriends, and we'd probably like, no, we don't want any. And they'd feel bad, so they'd have to get some, and we just laugh at them.
I don't think I've ever had peanut soup.
Oh, you don't
Ever.
want it. It's disgusting.
It doesn't even sound good.
No.
I've never, I can safely say in my 45 years on this earth, at no point have I ever said, I'm craving something. You know what sounds good? Some motherfucking peanut soup.
That's the only place I've ever heard of it in my whole life. And I've never
Huh.
heard anybody else talk about it.
I remember the first time I had boiled peanuts, and I was very I was very unsure, and they're good. You wouldn't, I didn't think they would be, but they're good.
Don't they sell them like on the New York streets?
Not boiled peanuts. A boiled peanut's a Southern thing.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
I've
Yep.
never had them, but I know
They're
what
good.
they are.
They're good. That's what I picture when you say peanut soup. Is the thing that you get at they have them at like gas stations and stuff. And
Yeah. On
I mean,
side
you
of
can
the
buy
road.
them too.
In Georgia and South Carolina, they have them on the side of the road. Little
Yeah,
stands.
I've never bought anything off the side of a road. That's not true. That's not true. All right. So when we lived in Waxahachie, there were lab puppies on the side of the road, and they were for sale. And I stopped, and I got a lab puppy because they didn't look like they were in like this looked like a desperate situation, and I felt bad for the dogs. So
I would have wanted to buy all of them.
I googled peanut soup. Do you want to know what's in it?
Yes.
please.
Peanuts, onions, tomatoes, aubergine, however you say that, okra, Ashanti pepper, ginger, bay leaves, rosemary, peanut butter, and water.
Sounds like something Gwyneth Paltrow would talk about on, share a recipe on her Goop website.
Apparently it's from Africa, but it sounds disgusting.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it is disgusting. I've had it. I don't know how that became their family tradition, but she's dead now, so we don't have to eat it anymore.
Rest in
Well,
peace,
ladies-
dead relative of Mo's that made peanut soup. And she's trashing you on YouTube in front of God and everybody like you don't already know.
I'm gonna head out and
Okay.
Me
get
too. I
ready
get it.
Wait, let me finish my cigarette and then you guys can. No, because I gotta
Okay.
go.
Okay.
Because I'm outside. Well, I can't in the
You're
street.
not allowed to leave.
Stop right where you are.
Allie, you can leave. I'll stay. I
Oh,
know
it's
you gotta
okay.
work in the morning.
Oh, I love how you guys are fighting over who has to stay with me. Why don't you fucking do rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock?
Oh.
Like I'm the drunk friend at the party who got way over fucking served and is now acting a fool. I'll stay with her. She's about to blow chunks. I'll hold her hair.
Oh,
Fuck you
yeah, then
both.
you can stay out.
I'll hold my own hair, thank you. I've become quite good at tying it in a knot.
I can't wait for the Ward fam to see Ezra's hair at sentencing.
Oh,
I
that's why I
think
said
I
it
know
gets
what
worse.
I think I've seen it because I put it in the video. But yeah. Well, thanks for coming up, Allie.
Yes, thanks for having me. It was fun. I didn't get to
Anytime.
see chat or anything, so I don't know. I hope nobody was talking mad crap about me. Like,
No.
Oh, just don't
"Ooh, look
watch
at
the
that
replay.
Minnesota
I'm just
accent."
Oh my gosh. Nobody said anything. We don't
All right,
behave like
ladies.
that over here. All right, babe. Bye.
Bye.
Well, you guys, I think that's it. We have the
You are
redraft.
echoing.
Oh, it's because of this. Let me turn this off. Hold on.
Also, the at the end of Ezra's seventh day, they have the dash cam, which
Yeah,
you can't see her, but you can hear.
that's what we're watching next.
Okay.
Yeah. And on the now we're on this. We're going to be on day number or part number 7, and then we'll rest. Because wow.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to play all the psychologists they pull on because it gets kind of,
I'll do a highlight reel
yeah.
for that then, because I do want to hear what their defense is. You know what I
The
mean?
one after the first one is pretty good. The second one, I can just go ahead and tell you, all he really does is dispute the way she was questioned and say the way she was questioned was all leading. So that takes you about 2 hours out
Wait a
of
minute.
after watching it.
Back the milk truck up. Leading is not a thing in an interrogation.
Well, it is to this psychologist for 2 days.
I mean, maybe I'm gonna have to listen to it myself because I'm curious if if the term leading means something different in
No,
psychological terms, because leading sounds
No.
to me like coercive.
Yeah.
So
He says they should ask the question this way. The
open-ended.
way, yeah, and the way they asked it, put it in her head that that's the answer that they wanted. That's leading.
Oh, but that's
Exactly.
I've never heard it. I've never heard it referred to as leading. The only time I've ever heard somebody object in the middle of a fucking interrogation that wasn't a lawyer is NK's dad. Now leading. Coercion, yes, like where you it's actually, because we went through this with Jesse Miss Kelly. Most of the questions, and y'all can't see me, but air quotes, were actually statements. That's different. I listened to the way that those cops questioned her, and they weren't coercive. I don't like that. I don't agree with the use of the term leading, because
Yeah.
leading.
But his whole testimony is basically like evaluating every question she was asked.
Well, I kind of figured that that's the route they were going to go because of how many times the Mr. Nelson asked all of anybody who had any kind of contact with Ezra at any time in her whole life. No, just kidding. Anytime between March 22nd and March 24th. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Anaphylaxis is a court thing.
Yeah,
not an interrogation thing. And I don't like that they're using the term leading when I actually think what they're trying to say, what they mean is coercive, because coercive police tactics are when the officer asks you a question, right? But it's not an open-ended question. so like for example, there was a question that was asked of Jesse, which is the only thing I can think of off the top of my head because I'm actually working on something about him right now. Where so you left at noon. Was
Right.
it starting to get dark? Had it gotten those types of things like that? It doesn't. I don't know that. I don't like that. I don't like that term being used. But whatever. I object to the term. But I mean, I kind of figured that was going to be where they were going by the line of questioning that they asked of everybody that came in to contact with Ezra McCandless at that time. And I will agree that I do think when detectives or officers are speaking to somebody, regardless of at one point she was in the beginning, she wasn't a suspect. She was being treated and talked to like a victim. And it wasn't really until after they had found Alex and they interviewed her again that it became something a little bit different. But it's easy. I always prefer to hear a confession or even not a confession, just the story, the narrative come from the person they're asking, not pulling teeth. You know what I mean? Where he was just one question after another question after another question instead of, sort of.
Yeah.
I don't think she was going to give it to him anyway, but
I guess they're trying to prove that she only said what he was saying, like telling her to say,
yeah,
or
but
putting
that's
it in her head, whatever.
right. Like Tammy Lee put it in, and I don't believe this, but that Tammy Lee put it in Chris Watts's head that Shanann is the person who hurt the girls, which that is a ridiculous argument to make. And I understand that how the situation can be in an interrogation, okay, but that's exactly anaphylaxis. But whatever, I can't. That's ridiculous, just ridiculous. But
Yeah,
anyway,
that's basically what they're trying to prove, Anna.
right? Yeah, it's ridiculous. That's. I mean, it's not that it doesn't happen. It absolutely does happen, but it didn't happen in this situation, nor did it happen with Chris Watts. Period. So, anyway.
Anywho.
Thanks you guys for coming, and we will see you tomorrow night. Same bat time, same bat channel. Okay, thanks for coming up, Mo.
You're welcome.
All right, good night, everybody.
Good night.
Okay, bye.